A teenager will spend years behind bars for a murder that shattered a community. A judge sentenced 17-year-old Kle Swee to more than 25 years in prison for shooting and killing Michael Brasel in front of his home in St. Paul last spring. Police say that the hockey coach had tried to stop Swee from breaking into his wife's car. And we were live inside the emotional courtroom yesterday during the sentencing. Here's a look inside.
Hillary Brasel will be the first to present her statement.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Hillary Brasel, and I is Michael's wife. I want my words to honor an amazing man that Michael was, and in my heart, the man that he still is. I hope my words to honor the genuine way that Michael lived his life each day. And I hope that they will help you learn a bit more about the talented, unique, irreplaceable human he was. I hope my words can describe how Michael's murder has forever changed my life and the lives of my children. Michael Scott Brasel was known by many names. Michael, Mikey, Coach Brasel, Mr. Michael, Dad, and by his mother, Sweet Prince. Michael was raised in St. Paul in the St. Anthony Park neighborhood and attended St. Anthony Park Elementary School, Murray Junior High School, Cretin-Derham Hall High School. I first met Michael in a pottery class our freshman year at CDH, where even then he stood out to me as a great artist and a genuine person. We parted ways when I switched high schools my sophomore year, and we did not meet up again until college. Michael went on to study at Minneapolis College of Art and Design, where he obtained a degree in illustration. I attended Bethel University working on a degree in art education. Michael and I were reintroduced to each other in 2000, our senior year of college. We both were finishing art degrees and bonded through our mutual creative interests. We started dating in the spring of 2000. We instantly fell in love. Michael and I were married in June of 2005. Michael was the best person I have ever known. And there will never be another person like him. Michael had the warmest brown eyes, the biggest smile. He had amazing hair and facial hair that he would change with time, especially with the seasons. He had the quickest sense of humor and the best laugh. He always gave the best hugs. He was the one who could always see when someone was having a bad day and would work to turn their frown upside down. He had a zest for life that changed everyone who knew him. Above all these amazing details, the greatest thing about Michael was his genuine heart and his endless love for those who knew him best. When you were loved by Michael, it was not loud or flashy. It was genuine and true. The love he shared with his parents, his siblings, extended family, and close friends was always full of humor and joy. The love he shared with me, his wife, and his two boys was enormous and steadfast and unforgettable. Michael worked as a residential carpenter and project manager on historic and unique homes in St. Paul and Minneapolis with Gallagher Construction. His career path let his meticulous talents and precise mind shine. He helped create homes that people love and cherish to this day. More importantly, he made a real connection with the families and subcontractors he worked with. Michael was respected, honest, and a hardworking man who people trusted to work on their homes and design projects. His creative and reliable presence in the construction industry will be missed. Sadly, his death has taken away his ability to finish our own home remodel, and this is another dream that I will have to complete without him. Outside of his day job, Michael loved to make art. He used so much of his artistic talents with his illustration degree from MCAD to create logos, posters, portraits, and most of all, screen prints. His bold use of color and attention to detail made his art so eye-catching. Thinking that his talent as an artist was also cut short makes me so sad that he will no longer be able to make or share artwork with the world. Michael also loved vintage cars and going to car shows and anything relating to automotive design. He had a 2009 Dodge Challenger that he special ordered for himself after saving money for 15 years. It was his fun summer car and his own personal getaway from the stress of life. His car now sits and waits for him to drive it, but he will never be able to drive that fun summer car again. I am so sad that Michael can't teach his sons to drive that car and to share that bonding moment with them. Hopefully his sons and I can learn to drive that manual transmission and in the future enjoy those getaway drives for Michael. In addition to cars, Michael loved all kinds of music and always had music playing in the background. He loved going to live music shows to multiple venues in the Twin Cities. Music concerts were our way of planning date nights. Sadly, I struggle now to listen to the radio and to listen to music because a song will come on and send me into an emotional tailspin. Certain songs will always remind me of Michael or a special time that we shared together in the past. I used to think of those songs with such fondness, and now I hear them, and I just wish he can be there with me. For one last date night, or to make one more happy memory of him singing along to a song. Michael loved playing he loved playing hockey and was on a few old man hockey teams and with other hockey dads or coaches who he became friends with. Even more than playing hockey, Michael loved coaching hockey. He coached on multiple youth teams, hockey teams, over the last 7 years in both Roseville and Langford Park hockey programs. Hockey was his way to connect with his own boys and to help them grow their skills and confidence in life. His efforts to mentor youth through the sport of hockey created an endless list of other young players who have benefited from his energy as a coach and the life lessons that he shared with them as a good human. In recent weeks, so many of these young players that Michael have coached are now facing the start of their new hockey season. Tryouts are underway and team placements are being decided, which is an intense process for these young players. Our Home Hockey Association has offered each player a sticker to add to their helmet that reads MB in honor of Coach Brasel. It is impressive to see all these young players adding the sticker to the helmet they will wear each day. I am hopeful each time that they see this sticker that they can remember the life lessons Michael shared with them as they continue to pursue their own goals and work towards success as a team. Lastly, over the last 7 winters, Michael has built a bigger and better backyard hockey rink. He did this so his family can play epic 2v2 games and enjoy Minnesota winters together. He made sure there was a way that no matter if the rinks were open or not, his boys could always skate. Michael wanted to make sure his boys could improve their skills, but more importantly, find joy on the ice. We now struggle with the idea of knowing how to move forward with the building and maintaining of a rink without Michael's knowledge and construction skills. I'm hopeful that this is yet another tradition that does not have to be lost without Michael. Now that you've heard a bit more about the person who Michael was as a person, I want to move forward to the day Michael was murdered, May 6, 2023. This was the morning that changed everything. And I mean everything in our lives. That day, I lost my husband, but more importantly, I lost my best friend. I no longer have my soulmate and the man who had loved me for 23 years. I no longer have the man who gave me his last name, gave me our 2 boys, and the man who is my ultimate version of home. Michael was my compass for our lives together, and I feel lost without him. I'm scared each day. Sorry. I'm scared each day that I'm falling short of the goals that Michael and I had to help our boys to grow up to be good people. I'm scared that I won't be able to fulfill the dreams and aspirations Michael and I had to build a life of substance together. I'm truly missing my better half, and my heart has broken in ways that I never knew was possible. After Michael's murder, I now struggle to figure out how to run our household without his input. This is so hard because Michael was good at everything and knew how to do so many things. He had so many skills that made our household function, from technical skills with computers to electrical, plumbing, carpentry, general home maintenance. I now must ask others to help me take care of our home and help me understand all the details of home maintenance. Sadly, Michael's death has taken away his ability to help with our own home remodel, and this is yet another dream I will have to complete without him. I'm constantly overwhelmed by my thoughts of how I will financially make it work for our boys without Michael's income. He worked very hard and had a steady income that helped towards our goals as a family. Additionally, my car, the Ford Flex, was part of the crime scene from Michael's shooting. I have no idea when that car will be returned to me, as it is evidence. Sadly, the Flex was the only car that we still had a car payment on, so I've had to pay for it while it's been in police custody. In order to save my sanity, I chose to pay off the car balance, so I don't have to deal with the monthly punishment of a payment for a car that I do not even have. It is an asset that I cannot access, and financially, it will be something that the courts cannot reimburse. Additionally, because of Michael's murder, I'm currently on leave from my job at Children's Hospital. I work as a pediatric nurse in many areas of the hospital, including the PICU. I'm on leave because the strength it takes for me to care for others with acute healthcare needs is something I cannot handle right now. I am afraid to go back to work, as my ability to concentrate and remember details have been difficult to get back since Michael's murder. I am worried that I might be distracted in my thoughts and miss a sign of distress or mess up a medication for my patients that could be deadly. I could not handle if I hurt a child unintentionally, and I am so affected by Michael's murder. I'm also not sure of how to handle caring for intubated and vented patients. For when the last time I saw a breathing tube, it was in the mouth of my murdered husband. I'm not sure how I will react in a crisis at work if I needed to perform life-saving measures. As the last time I did CPR, it was on the chest of my husband as we assessed Michael's 3 gunshot wounds. I refuse to let Michael's murder take away my career, but I know that I'm going to need significant therapy to regain my confidence and return to the hospital and direct patient care. My continued loss of work is hurting my family financially, as I have run out of paid leave. I also will need to take a new position at the hospital because I previously worked the overnight shift and can no longer do that as a single parent. This job change requires me to go through application and interviewing process, which is more added stress. I also was supposed to finish my last class for my second nursing degree over the summer and finally graduate from Augsburg University. Sadly, my class participation was put on hold over the summer as I grieved the loss of Michael. I have restarted my class again, and I will not let Michael's murderer take more from me. But sadly, I now will not have Michael, my biggest cheerleader, at my side when I finish my degree and graduate in December. It has now been less than 5 months since Michael was killed on May 6th. We are still processing how Michael's murder has affected our lives. The spring and summer was supposed to be full of joy and happiness and is now full of overwhelming grief, sadness, and anger. Our family had so many plans and dreams that were destroyed that day that Michael was murdered. I can only say that the first 5 months have been made exponentially tougher because we have had the following occasions without Michael. May 14th, Mother's Day. May 17th to 20th, Oliver's first hockey tournament without his dad on the bench as a coach. June 1st, Oliver's graduation from 8th grade. June 2nd, Miles' last day of elementary school. June 3rd, Michael's 45th birthday. June 18th, Father's Day. June 18th was also our 18th wedding anniversary. August 5th through 10th was our first large family vacation without Michael. August 25th, Oliver's first day of high school. August 30th, my first day of my last class at Augsburg. September 5th, Miles' first day of middle school. September 8th, the start of both boys' hockey season, again without their dad as a coach. September 25th, Oliver's 15th birthday. This is just the start of the big moments that Michael has missed and does not begin to cover all the future moments that he has been robbed of sharing with our family. We are grieving the loss of Michael's life in the here and now, but also for all the future moments and milestones that he will never be able to do with those he loved most. Our hearts are broken and our world has been turned upside down by the senseless shooting that took Michael's life on Saturday, May 6, 2023, in the front yard of our home. I still cannot believe that the footage recovered from our neighbor's cameras that morning. It documents that this whole interaction with the people in the car and Michael was less than 57 seconds between the time the car pulled up and the car drove away. Please remember that he was an innocent man and did not deserve to be murdered. Michael had no choice that morning in how his future would play out or to think he would be shot. Michael now only lives in a shiny metal box that we visit every day. And I hope every day that Kle has to spend in prison, he can remember that he is not the only one in a box. Michael is in a box forever. Please honor Michael and have his shooter, Kle Swee, be sentenced to the maximum time that he can serve for taking away my husband, my best friend, and the father of my children. Thank you, Your Honor.
My client's mother has written a statement. She had wanted to deliver it herself, but being concerned that she'd be overcome with emotion, she's asked if I would read it to the court, Judge.
Go ahead and continue.
Thank you. Judge, it starts with, hello, Your Honor. My name is Moo-Ah, M-O-O-A-H. I am the mother of Kle Swee. I am thankful for being able to speak to the court today. My family came to America for a better opportunity for our children, to have them receive an education, and a means to a promising life, a better life than what we had in our native country. I sit before you with a heart that is broken in two. One broken part of my heart aches for the victim of my son's actions, for his family, and his community. The other part of my broken heart grieves for where my son's actions have placed him. To the victim's family, I know my words cannot erase or heal the pain and loss you are experiencing. I'm overwhelmed with grief about how my son's actions have forever affected your family. I realize that your family and community will never be able to speak or hug him again. I want to mention the trials and struggles my son faced growing up. As our only son at the time, he had difficulty connecting with children his age in elementary and middle school, mostly because of differences in language and culture. When he entered high school, my son made friends with others who weren't making good choices. My son in the past few years became addicted to illegal prescription drugs he bought off the street. Before the tragedy, he went to treatment and was able to get free from his addiction. He has lost friends to overdose and addiction, so he even encouraged other students at his high school to get help for their own drug use in the last year. He was also starting to get good grades in school and even wanted to go to college. He kept busy to himself and would go to work and then school and then come straight home. But in the last couple of weeks before the tragedy, he started hanging around with his old friends that were a bad influence. I wish you could see how I see my son. He is intelligent and has dreams of getting a job and doing good. He is quiet, but shows his love to our small family. He doesn't have extended family here in the United States, so it's just us, his parents and his 2 siblings. My son and I are very close. He looks out for me and helps me with every situation that comes up. He was even proud to help out with contributing money for our new apartment lease. The times I was able to speak with him while he was in jail, he told me that he is devastated by his actions. Although he might not seem to show it, because in our culture we do not easily express our emotions, he has mentioned how regretful he feels about his actions and how they've affected the victim's family. Even though he faces a difficult time in prison, I know my son wants to turn his life around and use his life for doing good with a purpose. Please, Your Honor, I ask you for mercy towards my son. I know he must face the consequences of his actions, but I'm asking you to see my son as more than the terrible mistake he has made. I know he will never forget what his actions have done, but I know he will spend the rest of his life doing all the good he can to better himself for his family and his community. Thank you.
Kle, before we move forward with sentencing, you have the last opportunity to have the last word. This is your opportunity to do so. Is there anything that you would like to tell this court today?
I just want to apologize to the victim's family, to my family, to everyone that I impacted. I take full responsibility for my actions. All I ask for is forgiveness. The time I spent in prison, I want to better myself. Right now, I'm currently getting my GED. Right now, I'm currently trying to get my diploma. And after that, I want to go to take college classes and get a job there in prison. And when I get released, I will be a changed man. When I get released, I want to help young kids like me not make the same mistakes that I did, that I made, in honor of Michael.
This matter, before I move forward, first to the families and friends of Michael Brasel, I wanted to express the court's sympathy for your loss. I recognize that for many of you, this is little solace because Michael's physical presence is not here. I know in listening to the victim impact, there were a couple of statements, one saying that you've lost Michael's presence. I couldn't disagree more with that because Michael's presence is here. Michael's presence is here with all of your statements about him, all of your memories about him, and all of the good things that Michael represents in this community and in your lives. I appreciate having the opportunity to learn more about Michael Brasel. This is one of those parts of my job that is bittersweet, that I get to learn about such a wonderful person in such a tragic, tragic way. Today was yet another opportunity for you as the family to gather and remember and grieve Michael's loss. But I also want to speak to Kle's family, because I recognize that this was an opportunity for you to grieve as well, and to grieve what you see the future of Kle being. Kle, I will speak directly to you, because all of this grief was because of the decisions you made. On that night, you made a decision to get in the car and drive around and rummage through people's cars. You made a decision to stop at that Ford Flex. You made a decision to take a gun and shoot Michael Brasel. And because of all of these decisions, we are here today. I want to tell you that I agree with your mother in that I do not believe that you are the sum of this decision, that there are and there can be good, and you have an opportunity when you come out of prison to do things better, to be better. And I think not only do you have an opportunity, but you have an obligation now, because your behaviors created this ripple effect on this community. And you can turn and look at all the individuals in this room. This has affected this community greatly, and you now have an obligation to move forward. Kle, I considered your request for a departure in this matter, and in order for this court to depart, I would need to find that your behavior was significantly less serious than that of a typical murder, and I cannot find in good conscience that it was significantly less. Taking your word that you thought that Mala was in danger, you had a number of options. You did not have to shoot Michael Brasel. And taking a step back, but for you and your friends driving around, you would not have been there. This is one of those unintended consequences to a decision that I know and I hope you wish you had and you could take back, but you can't. So with that, Kle, I am going to move forward, and I am going to have you stand for sentencing. Kle Swee, having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of second-degree murder with intent not premeditated, the court accepts your plea of guilty, and I adjudicate and convict you guilty of this offense. Count 2, the second-degree murder while committing a felony, is hereby dismissed. It is therefore the judgment of the court and the sentence of law that you be committed to the Commission of Correction of the State of Minnesota for a term of 306 months. That is minimum incarceration 204 months, maximized supervised release of 102 months. The court will note that I am ordering restitution in this matter. I will note that the court finds that you do have the ability to pay restitution, given that you will be making wages in the Department of Corrections. So I am reserving restitution for the family, Ms. Brasel, for 90 days for her to provide further information to have this court make a restitution determination. I am ordering restitution in the amount of $8,837.02, and that will be paid to the Minnesota Crime Victim Board. In addition, the court is ordering that you are to provide a DNA sample if you have not done so with the Department of Corrections. Given that I am ordering restitution, I am going to waive all fines and fees, so I will order that no fines and fees are paid, because I want you to focus on paying restitution. I am going to give you credit for the credit for the time served in council. What is the custody credit, the updated custody credit? All right, you will receive credit for 152 days that you've already served. You will be committed and delivered to the Commission of Correction immediately. And Kle, here's what I want to tell you. I recognize that I've sent you to prison and it's going to be for a period of time. I want you to look at this as an opportunity and take advantage of the opportunity. I recognize that there are a lot of people who said a lot of things about you being evil and things like that. I believe that as you grow and as you mature, you can make better choices, and I believe you will make better choices. I want you to take this as an opportunity to really build yourself up and really come out on the other side better so that you can, as you said in your statement, honor Michael Brasel. I want you to be able to be at a point where you can talk to other youth and hopefully guide them away from the bad decisions that you've made. I don't believe that you are the sum of this decision. I believe you're better than this decision, but I also believe that you have to face the consequences for this decision, and I hope that you do so with a clear head, and I hope you do so with a positive head so that when you do get out, that you can move forward, be connected to your family, and be connected to this community. Good luck to you, Kle, and I'm going to have you head with the deputies at this time. Again, for the family members, I thank you for your time and attention here, and with that, that does conclude this sentencing hearing. Court is adjourned.